What's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer, and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in and supporting the silver stacking community. The best way to support this video is by liking the video and leaving a comment. That helps the video out tremendously. Now, I have a question for you. Do you like silver? And if you do, I'm sure you would like free silver, right? Well, what if I was to tell you that you have an opportunity to win some silver for free, shipped straight to your front doorstep? Well, that is happening. You have an opportunity. I'm doing a silver giveaway. I will post the entry video in the description and the pinned comment, and it gets even better. What if I was to tell you that you had 3 opportunities to win silver? Well, that's also true. I'm picking 2 winners on my channel, but we also have the Silver Stacking Podcast, which is a podcast for silver stackers. This is such a cool format. We post a new podcast every Friday, but we also post segments of the podcast throughout the week. So if you weren't able to watch the full thing, at least you can get some good topics that we covered. And this is every single week. We're also doing a giveaway over there. That entry video is also open. So 3 different opportunities to win silver. A lot of silver given away to a lot of different stackers, and may the luckiest stacker win as always. So let's jump into this. Now, what if the silver price never explodes? What would happen? What if silver never explodes? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought that? Have you ever thought maybe this just wasn't the right decision? Maybe it just won't. Well, yesterday I was talking to someone, and it was about the video that I made where I was talking about how a lot of people don't understand how valuable silver really is, because they don't. If you didn't watch that video, I highly recommend it. I just go on like a 15-minute just rampage of just throwing out so many reasons why silver is so extremely valuable and undervalued. And someone in the comments on Reddit, by the way, said, "What if you're just wrong and it's not undervalued? What if it's overvalued?" And I said, I had to stop for a second. Obviously, this is a new stacker. If you think $24 for an ounce of silver is overvalued, you just exit now. Don't stack. You're going to lose a lot of money if you think that $24 for an ounce of silver is overvalued. That clearly means that you don't understand the true value of silver or the true value of the dollar. And that also means you really have no clue of why we stack, or why my name is Silver Slayer and not Gold Slayer and not Bitcoin Boy and Gold Guru and Gold Guy and Bitcoin Bandit and any other name. My name is Silver Slayer for a reason. You're watching a silver stacking video for a reason. It's called Wall Street Silver for a reason. You want to know those reasons? Well, go watch the video yesterday. So I'm going to teach you how to still make money even if silver doesn't explode. Your stack can still astronomically rise in price even if the price stays at $24 for the next 20 years. You can still make money. But how, Silver Slayer? That doesn't make sense. If I'm buying silver at $24 right now and the price is still $24 in 20 years, that means my stack hasn't appreciated a single dollar. Well, that's true if you're buying certain types of silver. If you're buying just generic Sunshine Mint rounds, then yes, your stack will still be worth the same amount that it is today. But if you buy certain coins like Pandas, Kookaburras, maybe the Queen's Bee series, maybe the Lunar series, maybe even junk silver, your stack will appreciate regardless of what spot price does, because it's high premium silver. There's a collectible aspect because the design changes every year, because there's lower mintage numbers, Junk silver, definitely, because they don't make it anymore. And by 20 years from now, there will be such a small amount in circulation to find from coin roll hunting, and a lot of the coins will even get melted down. Those will start growing numismatic value as well, kind of like Morgans. Morgans were stopped minted in 1921, junk silver 1964. So Morgans have a nice little gap on junk silver, 40 years. But if you really want to invest into silver that has potential beyond spot price, it has to be some type of high premium coin. So yes, even if silver doesn't explode, you can still make a lot of money. Now, you don't want to only buy that type of silver. You still want bullion, just cheap silver, to build up a foundation, especially as a beginner, because a lot of those other coins are riskier and more expensive. You want to keep a balanced stack. I always recommend, for a beginner, buy as much silver as cheap as possible, build up that foundation, and then, once you have that foundation, then you can branch off to riskier, more expensive coins that are also detached from spot price. If you start buying the riskier coins at first, one, your dollar per ounce average is extremely high, and you have a better chance of getting ripped off, because you need to learn the markets, learn the pricing of these coins before you get in there, right? You gotta crawl before you can walk. So yeah, balanced stack is important. Diversification is key for multiple reasons. And in that video yesterday, I think I really pushed the point. And even the video the day before, I talk more about how to pick out the coins that will make a lot of money or that do appreciate. So the last two videos are extremely important, but I really wanted to talk about that because when that guy said that, it scared me. It scared me for someone to really think that silver is overvalued right now and that we're just hyping it up for no reason. No, there's reason. And I'm sure he didn't even know that 10 years ago silver was $50. Didn't even know that, probably. And I don't want to assume, but it's probably someone that jumped on the Wall Street silver hype train at $30. So now he's looking at his investment down in the red, and he's probably a little frustrated or mad, not knowing about the history or the future of where silver is headed or where it was. So anyways, it's important to watch videos like this, and especially the video yesterday. But anyways, let's talk about this. This article talks about silver hitting $130 per ounce. So I have another question. Do you think silver can or will hit $130 per ounce? And would you sell at $130 an ounce, or would you keep buying? Lots of questions in this video, but you can pick and choose, but I really want you to comment about any of the questions I've asked, because it would spark a great conversation. So let's jump into their reasoning. This is a great article, by the way, written from Keith Newmar from First Majestic Silver. This is a great article. I'm serious. You're going to enjoy this video. Make sure you like the video. So what's in store for silver in the future? Keith Newmar, he said he sees the white metal reaching $130 per ounce. Silver Slayer, that's just a silver pumper. No, he's actually been in the precious metals world for a long time, right? And he makes good points. We're not just saying, oh, silver's going to explode out of just like, there's no reason. We're not just throwing it out there. There's reason, legitimate reason, far beyond stocks and Bitcoin. So the silver price made significant gains in the second half of 2020, rising above $20 per ounce for the first time since 2016. And I remember that July 2016 high of $21 silver. We all celebrated. Now it's sitting at 24, and we're all like down about that. You got to remember, like, silver for the last 10 years, the average price has been $15. But if you're newer, you're desensitized to these extremely high prices, so you're thinking silver's low right now, when actually, according to, if you've been stacking for more than a couple of years, it's actually up a lot. And a lot of people don't know that in March 2020, silver was $11. Just 2 years ago, not even 2 years ago, silver was $11. Now it's 24, and that's still low. Now, in the grand scheme of things, it is low, but from the perspective of just a couple of years, it's still a lot higher. And actually, silver was the #1 performing asset in 2020. It beat stocks, it beat Bitcoin. silver was the number one performing asset because it went from $11 up to nearly $30. But anyways, nonetheless, well-known figure Keith Newmar, CEO of First Majestic Silver, has frequently said he believes the white metal could climb even higher, reaching into triple digits. Silver is the only commodity that is not reaching its historic highs, and it has reached those highs on two separate occasions, back in 1980 and 2011. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, I'm sure you know what happened in 1980 and what happened in 2011. We don't got to go into it. Just a brief little couple word roundabout is 1980, the Hunt brothers cornered the market. In 2011, there was the 3-year spree from 2008 to 2011, credit financial crisis, billion-dollar stimulus, recession as depression led to $50 silver. So those two occasions. I think we're going to see that high breached. We're going to see that high breached in the cycle, and when it does, it's going to wake up the market. And once it breaks through the $50 level, I think we're going to get up to $100 pretty quickly. Now, I agree. I definitely agree because there's such a strong resistance at $50 since it couldn't break past that in 1980 or 2011, that when it breaks past $50, so many people are going to be trying to buy it, which is silly. They should be buying it right now and then probably selling it at $50. You don't buy high, hope it goes higher. You're supposed to buy low, sell high, buy the dips, sell the tops. But for some reason, most people buy the tops and sell the dips. They do it backwards. But anyways, yeah, when it breaks past 50, it's going to go into extreme overbought territory. Kind of like when Bitcoin went from like $5,000 to $16,000 in a matter of a couple months. That was extreme overbought territory. But when that happens, it's overbought, so it has to correct. And if it just goes up, 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 it's going to go down, down, down. And that's why Bitcoin took years to recover. So it has to go, it's healthy for the market to correct. It's called a correction. It's not a bad thing. It actually needs to go down for it to go up higher. That's where the price builds stability. You want it to go up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little more, down a little bit. If it just goes up, you better get ready for a massive correction. So anyways, in order, or let's I think we missed something right here. So Newmar has voiced his opinion often, putting the $130 price target in a November 2017 interview. He did so again on March 18 with Kitco, and another one at the top of 2020. And at times, he's been even more bold, suggesting the white metal could reach $1,000. Now, $1,000, that's a little bullish, right? That's out there. But in 10, 15, 20 years, I wouldn't be surprised just looking at where the dollar's headed, where silver's headed with the shortage and scarcity and the massive amount of things that is going to be needed for as we advance digitally. It wouldn't not make sense. The only reason it would be hard to do that is because silver price suppression. The natural price, definitely. Silver is more valuable than gold. Silver is used for way more things than gold. Silver is more critical, more essential, does more. It should be worth more. So if gold's at almost $2,000, then why couldn't silver reach $1,000? In order to better understand where Newmar's opinion comes from, it's important to take a look at factors that affect the metal's movements and where the prices have been in the past and where the industry insiders believe silver could be headed. First, let's dive a little deeper into Newmar's prediction of the white metal that could break the seemingly distant $130 level. So why $130? Well, there's a significant distance for silver price to go before it reaches the success, as Newmar boldly predicted. In fact, in order for the precious metal to jump $130, the price would have to increase 500%, and that's at the current value, which back then it was lower than $24 that it is now. Newmar sees triple-digit silver prices in the cards because part of it believes the current market compares to the year 2000, when investors were sailing high on the dot-com bubble and the mining sector was down. He believes it's only a matter of time before the market corrects, and like it did in 2001, 2002, and mining sees big rebound in pricing. It was during this time Newmar himself invested heavily in mining stocks and came out on top. I've been calling for triple-digit silver for a few years now, and I'm more enthused than now, he said in an event in January 2020. And that's crazy. He said it in January 2020 because actually 3 months later, that was when silver was $11. So he's talking about silver hitting triple digits when silver is barely in double digits. That is faith. You shouldn't need confirmation and validation that silver can go higher. That's why people buy high, hope it goes higher, because they need to see the price rising. That's how you lose money. When most people are talking about it, you should be selling. That means you missed the boat. When everyone's jumping on the silver train, you missed the boat. You're supposed to buy it when nobody's talking about it. That's when the price is low. So anyways, let's keep on going. The silver CEO's enthusiasm is based on the fact that governments in the Western world will continue to print money and take on massive debt loads. And man, if he only knew about now. I think the central banks around the world have put themselves into a corner. I think interest rates are either going to stay stable or go lower. And man, he was spot on. And governments are just going to keep printing money in the deficit spending. And yes, he is spot on with quantitative easing. The massive amount of stimulus and trillions of dollars for this and that. And man, he was spot on. And it's only going to get worse. We're trying to pay off credit cards with more credit cards. That's what we're doing, right? Trying to get ourselves out of debt by replacing it with more debt. That doesn't work. It's the reason why every fiat-based system throughout history has failed, and the US dollar will fail too. That's not an if, that's a when. It literally can't succeed. It's designed to fail. So, the silver CEO's enthusiasm is based on the fact that Western worlds continue to print money, and there's no situation that we can get out of this. And the scenario is very supportive for gold, and of course will drag silver along. And not even just looking at the monetary side of things, yes, that is bullish for silver, but then there's also a massive silver shortage where gold doesn't have any space in. Gold's not scarce. That's why there's no crazy premiums on gold. Actually, most gold you can buy, if you want to buy a 1 ounce gold coin, it's basically spot price because there's no gold shortage. So there's no reason to have premiums. Silver has premiums because it's scarce. So, in a more recent interview, when presented with supply side data from the Silver Institute indicating the biggest surplus in silver market history, Newmar was blunt in his skepticism. I think these numbers are made up. I wouldn't trust them at all. He pointed out that subtracting net investments in silver exchange traded products leaves the market in a deficit, and also questioned the methodology behind the Institute's recycling data, given the most recycled silver metal comes from privately owned smelters and refiners that typically don't make those figures public. More controversially, Newmar believes the white metal will become uncoupled from gold and should see a strategic metal due to its necessary everyday appliances. That's what I was just talking about a second ago, from computers to electronics to solar panels. He also stated that silver production has gone down in recent years, meaning the contrary belief, metal is actually a rare commodity. And yes, silver is very rare, and it's a byproduct. Silver is found by accident. Nobody's looking for silver. If they find silver, they'll take it, but they're looking for gold, lead, and zinc. So we're consuming as a human race over 1 billion ounces of silver annually, and miners are only producing about 800 million ounces a year, and that's been dropping for 3 consecutive years. He also pointed out declining grades, making the case for a supply deficit. So then it goes into what factors affect its movements, and I mean, there's a lot of factors here. I mean, I could list 10 reasons why silver will explode in the next decade, and I can tell you 10 reasons why stocks won't explode in the next decade, right? In order to glean a better understanding of the precious metal's chance of trading around $130 range, it's important to examine the factors that can push the level or pull it farther away. Strength of the US dollar, right? We obviously know that the dollar is going down. US Federal Reserve interest rate changes and quantitative easing, or QE, like I was mentioning earlier, all factors that will continue to affect the precious metal. Geopolitical issues, elements of supply and demand, right? And although Newmar believes that the tie that binds silver to gold needs to be broken, the reality is most of the same factors that shape the price of gold also move silver, and more so when you look at the industrial side. Gold is used more for jewelry, necklaces, watches, earrings. Yes, there is some gold in electronics, but nowhere near the amount that silver is in electronics. And remember, gold is not scarce. Gold is always recycled because people are going to sell or pawn that ring or watch, and then it gets melted down for more rings or watches or coins, and it gets melted down again. So the gold that gets dug up out of the ground stays in circulation for probably almost a century, when silver that gets dug up out of the ground is going to be thrown away within 20, 30 years because it's all used in electronics, which doesn't get scrapped like jewelry does or coins. So anyways, for that reason, it's helpful to look at gold price drivers when trying to understand silver price action in the last year. Silver is, of course, more volatile of the two precious metals, but nevertheless often trades in relative tandem with gold. So, for gold, by extension, silver, key price driver hasn't been so much supply and demand, but uncertainty. Yes, speculation, right? Speculation has been a major factor, which I hate. It should be more off supply and demand, especially when you're looking at something with intrinsic value, right? It's tangible value within itself. It should be that, not what someone's opinion is about something, or a rumor, or a lie, or a myth. That can all push prices now. So anyways, obviously Feds drop interest rates to 0. The US dollar becoming less strong, which definitely affects the price. And then precious metals are a safe haven, so it will be beneficial in the long term. But silver's industrial growth potential, high industrial demand, is definitely going to push prices. Then CIBC sees the price averaging $32 in 2022. Now, obviously, this was written like years, probably a year and a half, 2 years ago. So I don't know if they would still think that, but 2022, I mean, a lot's up in the air, right? We're still just in the beginning of the year. There's a war going. A lot is going to affect it. Remember, that unknown variable can get thrown in and flip things upside down within a day, right? And we have a lot more days to go. So anyways, look at historical prices, and right, and this is another thing, going back to the article, silver's undervalued. If you're going to invest into something, wouldn't you want to invest into something that's undervalued, not overvalued? Gold is overvalued, silver's undervalued. If you want proof, look at the gold to silver ratio. Gold to silver ratio is around 75 to 1. When it comes out of the ground, 8 to 1. So that means that gold is overvalued. Silver is undervalued compared to gold. As an investor, you want to invest into the thing that's undervalued, because that means it's undervalued. So when it goes back to its natural value, you make the profit. If you're looking at something that's overvalued, that means the price is already high, so you're buying it up here, and then when it naturally starts to steady out, you lose money. You want to invest in the stuff that's undervalued. Buy low, sell high. So, there's other opinions out there. Here's some forecasts. Jeffrey Christian says price would test 30, then 32 over the next several months. And then Christian believes market fundamentals are supportive for silver to climb back to its high at $50. Then Nick Barishev, president, CEO BMG Group, thinks it could hit $50. People are already paying $50 for an ounce of silver on sites like Amazon, which, yes, that is crazy. I've covered several videos about that, where people are buying $50 silver like hotcakes on Amazon, almost always American Eagles. But he says he thinks the $50 silver price is more realistic. It's not the theoretical ask price. It's people buying coins and so on at that price. And yes, the physical price for an ounce of silver is much different than spot price. So anyways, Gareth Soloway in themoneystocks.com also bullish on silver and believes the white metal could rise as high as $40 to $50 in the next 2 years, which would be in the next year or so now. So yeah, anyways, I guess I like this article a lot. Like I said, I'm hoping that you're still sticking around and not clicking off the video like most people did 2 minutes in. If you're still here, I pat yourself on the back. It shows a lot about your personality and your character. That means that you wanted to soak up every piece of information. You didn't click off the video thinking that you know it all, or that you don't need to know anymore, right? You stuck around, and that will translate into your success, and not even just with stacking, with all parts of your life, right? The person that clicked off this video in 2 minutes thinking, oh, he's not going to say anything that I don't already know, or make any points that are relevant, that's dangerous. Closed minds are dangerous. You got to keep an open mind. You got to keep looking and understanding and researching. And it's called a silver stacking strategy for a reason. You're strategizing. So yes, pat yourself on the back. Um, I'm going to wrap this video up here, though. I think we covered a lot. Please like the video. I think it's a really important video to get out there. If you want a chance to win some silver, make sure you go over to my silver giveaway, and also head over to the Silver Stacking Podcast, because we're also doing a giveaway over there. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.